what you did last year ain't
Don't mean
promised
anything.
this
No,
year.
I get that.
And everybody keep talking about the damn defense. And I'm like, what about the 65 sacks you gave up last year? And we had this conversation. What about the 65 sacks you gave up last year and how that's going to work out this year?
I did think TJ Watt was going to kill him at one
Actually,
point.
I thought the O line played well. They just can't run to save their life. But it's the same thing that we could talk about with the Dolphins, and especially their offense.
But the Dolphins can run the football. It's frightening.
But they can run the ball, but they haven't been running the ball, and they're not scoring at the pace that they were towards quarters of last season.
Here, when you break a record or you do something that's exceptional, you're going to come back down a little bit. You're not going to be exceptional every year. I had I think 9 or 10 touchdowns receiving one year.
Mm-hmm.
I knew damn well I wasn't going to do that every year.
I just think like it just
happens.
It's one of these things though with McDaniel. Like I just feel like he's getting too cute. Like you found something that works. These quarterbacks are awful.
Yeah,
they're really bad. And it's like, I don't know, man. He's trying. He's just keep rolling with it. Like you said, like, hey, bore him to death, whatever it takes. And that's just like, and the thing with Indy is Indianapolis knows Dolphins can only run the football, but they suck at stopping the run. They have all year. And,
I would have here's what I would have did if I was Mike McDaniel. Like, they didn't let Richardson throw the ball. And they just found creative ways.
By the way, he's a giant.
He's a giant, yeah. They just found creative ways, and he can move.
Yeah.
They found creative ways to get their players in space, running the football or whatever, right? To just kind of calm everything down.
Never seen Zach Sealer look small when he tried to piggyback him.
I think that's what Mike McDaniel should have did. Instead of trying to find ways for the quarterback to throw the ball, just find more elaborate ways to run it.
Do you see like when they nailed the Jalen Ramsey blitz on him and he went off of him like a toy?
He's like, and Jalen's not a small guy.
No, he's not. This guy, he's not very good at quarterback.
No, he's not. And that was the problem. I thought Flacco played, you guys would have lost. I really thought with the 10-0 lead,
they should have. That's the thing that's frustrating about it. You're up 10. First of all, to let them even, this is like, you got to think about all these points mattering because it's such a task to get in the end zone. But like,
I've been fighting about this for 2 days, but go ahead.
Okay. But they're up 10-3 and you start the second half with Mostert fumbling. Of course they come back and even things up. But then like, okay, you should at least have 3. At least. The only thing you can't do here is give them the football.
Right.
And you fumble. Like at that point, I know we can sit here and we can yell at Mike McDaniel and we can yell at why the receivers. I'm guilty of it too. But like, you know what you have to do. And they did the only things you can't do, which is yak up the football.
Yeah.
It's like a heartbreaking thing because it's like you're sitting here and we're gonna bang our head on the wall. And yes, they are nothing without Tua. They are nothing.
But even with that, listen, I got to call out coach. This is the first time I'm really going to call out coach. You had a bye week and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle combined for 2 catches?
Yeah, they had 0 targets in the first half.
That's not good. And you were still up 10-0. Like, you still had to figure out a way. Now, I know it's Snoop getting hurt. That wasn't the ideal situation, but still, while he was in there, you still weren't getting the ball to him. Now, it's good to know that you guys have a tight end now.
Yeah, he looked good.
The last 2 weeks, he's looked good.
But like, why do we invent new ways to get hurt? Like, he was like doing the Superman and he fell on his shoulder. I'm like, what is this? What kind of snake bit injury is this?
That's basically how it goes, right?
So what are you quibbling with?
So everybody's talking about before the half, run the prevent defense. And I'm like, let me explain something to you. This guy couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a banjo. Right? And he hit 2 passes, the only 2 passes he hit all game to put him in field goal range. But you know he's got a cannon for an arm.
Yep.
So you just make sure he can't just unload it, right? He completed 2 passes. You're like, oh, the prevent defense, it only helps you lose. Like, one of the things I get frustrated with, and this is with you, this is with all of my friends that I talk sports with, is that why can't the other team make a good play? It's always your team screwed up, right? That was a good throw, an accurate throw, one of 3 he probably had all game, and it came at before the half. I take my chances.
He was so bad in the first half.
Right? I would take my chances except for those 2 passes. Like, you're playing the percentages.
Then he got like a couple of Dolphins to shake off him, and he felt a little froggy. I'm like, oh man. But this is the thing that hurts with the Dolphins, right?
The loss.
Well, it hurts. That hurts. But the thing is, they're the bad team, and the thing that hurts with Anthony Richardson is they're getting ready to take on some really tough teams, and they used you as the slump buster. Let's just ride the wave, baby. Let's get this kid out here. Because, like, look, let's be real about it. They're not going to start Joe Flacco the rest of the year. This is the guys. This is their number 4 overall pick. He's going to be their quarterback. And they used you, and they used you as the slump buster, and it worked. It worked. By the end of it, he felt froggy and did what it took to do to get them the win. It also doesn't help that the Dolphins, once again, Fat Cat Sanders coming through when you need him.
Oh, man.
Dude's better at hitting the uprights than he is hitting field goals.
Which should be more points.
It should be, but it's not. That's not the rules.
You know how hard it is to hit an upright?
What is this, jock? MTV Jockers?
It's the most humiliating sound in sports.
Boom, boom. Like the whole stadium. Like,
so how about this? You hit the upright, it's 2 points. But if you hit the upright and it goes through and it's still good, it's 5 points.
You got to call it, though. It should be like horse.
Because hitting the upright and it doesn't go through the, that's nothing.
Well, you can't get 5. I'd make it 4. So you get 1 bonus.
Steven Stevens points out, by the way, on the broadcast, they said the most accurate kicker in Miami Dolphins history. Ask any Dolphin fan who really trusts him.
No, he's not.
Really I don't give a rat's ass what the metrics say.
What are you talking about? This guy's the one he helped you get in the playoff. Mike McDaniel's first season.
Oh, what? No, I think it was well, he did.
Yeah.
He did. And then last year he had the game on Christmas Eve. But you don't trust him, dude. You just don't. I can't help it. You just don't. You don't trust him.
So you want to kick? You want to bring another kicker and have a kickoff?
By the way, how about the Dolphins long snapper just on 24 hours, like just going has to leave the team, and they have to sign a 40-year-old off the street.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
This happened Saturday night?
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know.
Emergency?
I don't know. He had something. They're just like, yeah, they haven't had a guy. This guy hasn't snapped in the game in 3 years.
Damn, how do you find a long snapper on a Saturday night?
I don't
tell
know.
you what, barely, because that old holder was getting his. That holder was earning his money.
I feel like John Denny runs that directory. I feel like he goes, Denny's long snappers. What can I help you with? Hey, JD, I need one, bro. Hold on, I got one for you. Hasn't snapped in 3 years. That's pretty good. All right, where are you guys going? Where do I got to book his flight to?
That's the other thing. Where is this guy living to get a flight to Indianapolis?
I don't know. I don't know. Is he like is he coaching Butler? Like
that's what I'm saying. Is he coaching?
And to our argument earlier in the season, I guess teams don't just hold on to a long snapper, a backup long snapper.
But that's the whole point.
No, it's a waste of position, dude. No, you can only have 53 guys.
I'm telling you,
you got 53 guys. You want a backup long snapper?
My whole point.
And you wonder why your team is in the tank right now.
This is my entire point to begin with. Why Andrew Meyer, who has not played a game all year, the UTEP backup center, okay, undrafted. He should be spending this entire time long snapping.
Everybody can't long snap, dude.
He's got to learn.
No, you can't just learn. You got to have the build for it.
He's not.
First of all, he might not have very long arms. You need long arms to do that. And you got to be able to snap a ball and be flexible enough to snap a ball 15 yards. What is wrong?
It's ridiculous.
Like, I love the way people think everybody could just do anything. Why can't he do that?
Vince Wilfork can go jump, but he can't go dunk, but he can't snap. It's
need a long snapper? Blue Chew.
Yo, I gotta give Chris credit, man.
I'll never understand this. I'll never understand this.
Like, come on. Like, I don't understand why you think. I love the way everybody thinks that you can just get rando people to do certain jobs. It does. No, you can't.
This is what they want.
That's
you to
not
think.
an easy job.
This is what they want you to.
No,
think.
they want you to think that we're running backs.
It's no, they want you to think. Oh man, they want you to think nobody else can do this. I'm telling you, you can teach somebody else to do this and save a roster spot.
It's not as easy as you think, dude. It really isn't.
Jay, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, how y'all doing today, man?
Good, man. What's going on with you?
I'm great. I love the show. Listen to it every day. One of the problems I have, like with a lot of fans, I've been hearing a lot of them criticizing Chris Greer and talking about how bad the team built. I put most of the blame on Mike McDaniel, man. Like, he has an issue with being consistent with the play calling. I think they can run the ball. I think yesterday showed if he stick to it and consistently lean on the run, they can run. And then he has terrible timing with play calling. Like, just yesterday, when we driving the ball, you get a ball to right twice, you get the ball all the way down there, and then on 1st and 10, you want to pull back dive. Like, why are we putting the ball in Allen Ingold's hand anyway? Like, that's just
question.
The last thing that you should do. Like, he's not one of the top players to carry the ball. He's not one of your guys. And then to go the whole game, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek only get 4 targets apiece. Like, you can't do that. And I think that we run too much deep things down the field. Like, we don't run no underneath no shallow crosses, nothing to get the ball in Tyreek and Waddle hand fast where you can kind of let them make plays. I think we do too much stuff downfield, and I think when the quarterback don't have nowhere to go with the ball, you're playing into what the defense do because they're in a too deep shell, so they covering everything deep. So you got to get the ball in these guys' hands quicker than that to let them make plays. It shouldn't be a time that Odell Beckham get 2 targets in the first half, but Tyreek and Waddle don't get none. Like, that can't happen. Like,
All right. Take care, Jay. Very
right.
frustrating. Jay is very frustrating. Listen, I will say
he made some valid points.
You've been calling out McDaniel's play calling for 2 years now.
But here's what the deal is. Okay. One of the things that Tua is extremely accurate. The other guys in there are not. When you want to throw it to Tyreek and to Waddle doing that stuff in the middle of the field, it requires an extreme amount of accuracy because there's a lot of people in there. And it's timing and it's throwing the ball to open areas. And I think he's a little scared to do that and try to assume that those guys are going to get it where it needs to be with all those people when the timing. I get that. Okay, I understand that. He's been doing that with Jonnu Smith, who's been coming along the last couple of weeks. He's been running those square ends, those inside routes, because you can take Tyreek and Waddle and create more space so that there's more room to throw the football. So I get all that. My thing is this. To your point on Ingold, I get it. I understand that. But we're playing the result, so let's not do that. We're playing the result of the fumble.
A really bad result.
Right. This would have been a perfect time to be so creative running the football when you had what's his name?
Jalen Wright.
Jalen Wright.
Talking
killing
about small guy or big guy? Which one?
Big guy. Jalen
Wright.
Being just destroying them inside. Mostert destroying them inside. Now you come back with that downhill, flip it to Tyreek. Downhill, flip it to Waddle. Get them involved in the game, right? With the sweeps and stuff like that. Because you've threatened the inside of the defense. So it gives them more room outside. I used to get pissed off because they would start the game running 3 or 4 sweeps and the defense was right there. So now you're 2nd and 13. Now that you've dominated inside to some extent, now you fake in there and flip it outside. Now you got your defense on skates.
I feel like the thing that happens with him is, look, Alec Ingold seems like a lovely person. Monster blocker. All right. Mike McDaniel very clearly trusts him. And I think in times of chaos, you lean on the ones you trust a little bit too much instead of going with the best option. And so I feel like you played your Alec Ingold card already this year. You can't keep going back to the well.
Hey,
you can't.
It's well, you want to know the opposite problem? That the Jets are relying on their young wide receiver, and he batting the ball all over the.
Well,
damn
that's
place.
that's. I don't know what that has to do with one thing or another.
It does. They had a lot of faith in him. They thought he was going to be the next coming, so they started including him in all the routes and all the plays and whatever.
Okay, but here's the thing with Alec Ingold. Okay, he's a doesn't show up in the box score type of guy. I'm seeing him too much in the box score.
Hold on.
It's true. No. That's what he is.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
He's not supposed to show up in the box score.
So you know what he just said about Alec Ingold? I got it. He just said it. Wait, what does Spo say? He makes winning plays.
Exactly.
So wait a minute. Did he not win the game for you against the Patriots?
Right, but that's when Vlad. You can't keep playing that card. You get away with one. Every once in a while, you're like, got you with that one.
No, I ain't gonna lie. He's right. Tobin's right, because I ain't gonna front. That 3rd and 1, everybody knew.
Everybody knew. This guy didn't want, like, dude, congratulations. You got us off guard. You never give the ball to Ingold. You got the Jaguars and you got the Patriots. Maybe 2 of the worst coach teams in the league. Come on, Mike. Enough. You have a horse from Tennessee and Jalen Wright. Every time he touches the ball, he gets you 7 yards.
Hey, Alec Ingold impacts winning.
Right. He's not supposed to show up in the box score.
Wait.
You know what? That's Leroy.
What?
That's an intangible comment.
Dude,
Yes.
he felt. Yes.
Wait. I cannot believe Tobin, of all people, has come here on a Monday morning after a game and said, you know what? I see Alec Ingold in the stat line too much.
Too much, dude. Leroy, should Alec Ingold have the largest reception of the game? No! You're
was wide open.
You're tempting fate too much.
He was wide open.
Dude, he is not Mike Allstott, all right? He is not Larry Zonka.
He's not Kyle.
He is good at what he does.
Yeah,
if you go to that well too many times, you, my friend, there is a reason why he has spent his football career cracking people in the face instead of toting the rock. There's just a reason for it. Nothing wrong with it. He is very good at what he does. He is a badass on the field.
We call him big stiffies.
He looked like slow. Yes. I'm sure you had many people who meant well. All right. Ogres who you had throughout your football life. But you don't go to them 4 or 5 times a game. He shouldn't touch the ball as many times as Jalen Wright. That, my friend, is tempting fate. And I just think Mike McDaniel.
Can I just say this?
Yeah.
We're here on Monday. And we're playing the results of everything. Right? Because, like, why? Why are we doing that? Like, you were literally, nobody had a problem with Alec Ingold.
He seems like a lovely person.
No, nobody had a problem with Alec Ingold until the fumble.
Of course. But Leroy.
And listen, as a fumbler, I'm just like, I gotta kind of I can't go after him.
I'm not going after him. You know why? When I got to talk to him in the locker room. And 2, he's only one of the few people after a loss that's willing to talk to them.
He is a stand-up individual.
Absolutely.
This is, it buys you a lot.
Too much, Alec.
Look.
But too much targets, too much carries, too much stat
You're
information.
just tempting fate, dude. Like, what does Alec Ingold think? Like, what does he think? He's gonna become, at the end of this, he's gonna be Peyton Hillis? No, too much. Tim, too much? Was it too much?
Too much.
That's wait. How are you doing? Like, you just like the first word. Too much.
He's thinking the same thing.
What's going on, Tim?
I have 2 words for Mr. Tobin, the head Miami Hurricanes cheerleader. Don't lose. Don't lose this week. We're coming for you. Don't lose.
Who's coming?
Tim, here's the problem. I have to deal with this, not you.
Oh, dude.
I got to deal with because he's going to come in here crazy.
look, one thing you could say, Tim, the one thing that I'm excited about is the Canes have a cupcake scheduled on Saturday, so they can get things right with the defense, you know?
I got your cupcakes in my turnover backpack, and we're coming for you. We're coming for you.
You say you got a backpack packed with cupcakes.
Take a break. Back after this. Swaggin. Josh Hart says it's our Boyle. Not for much longer, dude.
Yeah.
Not for much longer, dude.
Hey, let me tell you. The boil on the field or the boil on my butt? Because, yeah, both have played consistent.
Hey, yo. Dolphins lose 16-10. Tim Boyle just ended the game throwing it out of bounds. Jeez. Dolphins fall to 2-4. The expectation is that they are going to get Tua back this week.
Oh, you think? Everybody that had concerns when that fourth down ball went out of bounds, Tua was on the sideline. They was trying to stretch it. Get ready for next week.
And it was 4th and 2. What happened? By the way, why did A-Chain not go out of bounds?
He tried to.
They
were holding him.
But he kind of
he was trying to get away from the guy.
Okay.
He got spun around to the point where he was just trying to get away.
Probably
no, I know exactly what happened.
Probably was like, that's where you throw it, Boyle? Really?
Like,
but hey, you know what? You know what would have been nice to have in that situation?
A timeout.
A timeout. Mike McDaniel foisted out of a timeout.
Bro, by the way, always, if you follow Tobin on YouTube.
I was so mad at this, dude.
Why?
Tobin
because,
went off.
Dude, this guy, I'm going to tell you something about Mike McDaniel. He gets too excited about the stupidest things, okay? And so at the end of don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that.
Wait, you know what you're saying in this moment? Game recognized game.
Dude, he loves two things way too much. One of them is throwing the challenge flag. He stinks at it.
Who is coaching him up on challenge flag?
And then the other thing is he loves running to call the timeout. They're like, oh,
he just wanted to get his workout in.
Mike McDaniel really sprinted. They always mention it on the broadcast. You know, for some reason he doesn't prep. And
but wait, here's the kicker. Here's what's annoying about it. He gets nervous when there's 5 seconds left.
Right.
He takes off running, and then they snap the ball before the time runs out, but he already called the damn timeout.
So it was 3rd and 4. All right. Richardson, he throws a pass. Woof. Nowhere close. Then it's 4th and 4. They're already leading. It's so obvious they're going to kick a field goal. Obvious to everybody. And the announcers are like, they're keeping the personnel out there. Oh, there goes Mike McDaniel running. Time out! Like, Mike,
and then they bring the field goal team.
Mike, come on, dude. You knew they were going to kick a field goal.
That is true.
I was like, I'm not a coach. I am an ass clown.
I thought you was going to say
I was
that
about to. And let me just tell you something. I sat on my couch, was like, no, because I knew they were going to need that timeout. And Steichen knew it too. But you know what else he knows? He knows that he has a golden retriever on the other sideline who just wants to get involved. He goes, timeout. He does this every game, Leroy. We all saw it coming. And I'm like, dude, there's no way Mike McDaniel thinks they are actually going to go for it here. Like, there's no way. No way. How could you in your mind, Mike, think they were going to go for the dagger touchdown? Are you kidding me? The way that game had gone? How does Steichen know this and you don't know this? I hate saying his name. Sounds like I'm sneezing. Shane Steichen.
Don't say his first name. Just say his last name.
Steichen.
Yeah.
Shay.
Nah, there's only one Shay.
Yeah. So
I was so frustrated watching that, dude. I was so frustrated watching
again. We all are miserable watching that game. And there's nothing worse than seeing two things. Your team losing with 3 timeouts at the end of a game, or your team driving with no timeouts. And you start thinking about what do we use? Like 3rd and 4, he used the timeout because he was scared they weren't going to get it off in time. And it was 3rd and 4. So I get that. But then you end up kicking a field goal. And so that was a waste of timeout.
But,
right?
But still, it was 1:45 right when they started that drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like with the weapons that you guys
You
had,
should have been fine. But you have Tim Boyle
fine
running
still.
the show there. Having Tim Boyle run
See,
a 2-minute drill, it's like having a lobster babysit your kid.
I would like people to think to let's be clear. Okay. When Dan Campbell had bad players, he was 1-15, 2-14, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Campbell has good players, pretty good. We keep blaming the coach, and you're on your 4th string quarterback.
Like, now you know how I felt last season.
You're limited on how much your coach can coach him up.
I'm not giving him the majority of that blame for yesterday's game.
But wait. Some of the things you're talking about ties in to how different the offense would look. So you're not trying here. It gets to a point. I've seen this. You're not trying to manage the game. You're trying to manage a player. And that's 2 different things. It's hard if you just go out there and play the game situation and forget who's playing quarterback. Woo! That's going to look bad. So you're trying to do both, and it becomes difficult. I was fortunate when I was in Minnesota that every quarterback that came into the game, we never missed a beat. We never had to change what we did, partly because we had Randy Moss and Chris Carter.
They were good.
Right. But the other part is we had Randy Moss, and all the quarterbacks we had cannons.
But you also said Denny was never shook by anything, right? Like he was just, and like he's not the meme everybody thinks that he was.
No, from that one moment, no. In fact, think about this.
That's the first mean moment
He never talked directly to the players. He always empowered the coaches. So if he had a problem with something you did, he would go talk to the coach, and your coach would talk to you. I've seen him blow up. Besides that moment when he was in Arizona, he blew up one time in practice, and the whole building got quiet. I'm talking about even the offices got quiet when he lost it, right? And we knew at that moment, I was there 5.5 years. That's the only time I saw Denny blow a gasket at practice, and it never happened again. So, I never had to worry about, oh no, this dude's the quarterback. We're going to struggle. Oh no, we're going to have to, you guys, we're going to run the ball more. No, the offense was the offense because every guy that we had that came in could run the offense.
Leroy, taking a shot at coach then, because I mean, who was calling the plays for your offense at that time?
Brian Billick.
So
a guy who won a Super Bowl scoring no offensive plays.
So the offensive coordinator has remained the same.
Yeah.
And you guys could you were able to plug in whatever quarterback and it moved because of the weapons.
Well, we had a different offensive coordinator the last year because that's when Brian Billick took the job and
right. But during those 5.5 years, you had different quarterbacks.
Yes.
And you were still able, that offense was still able to produce. Right?
Yeah, because no other, think about this.
There's no
but all the time I was there, we had the same offensive line.
Okay.
We had Chris Carter, and then the following year or 2 years later, then we had Randy Moss.
But that's what I'm saying. You're not really helping coach's case here.
Why?
Because here's the thing. A weapon like you had with Randy Moss and Chris Carter, I could say, I'm not going to say it's the modern day.
But you got 2 excellent receivers.
You got excellent receivers.
Yes.
Like the freak athlete that Randy Moss was is what Tyreek is now. Not the height, but just the speed.
Okay, but listen to this, Vlad. We never,
And 3 years of this offense, who's been running this offense?
Hold on. Here's the deal. Here's the other thing you need to understand. That every quarterback that ended up playing and coming in was there the year before. So we didn't have to go pick up a quarterback off the street to play quarterback the following week.
I think by far what's been shown.
You see what I'm saying?
I think by far roster construction is shown to be just the issue for this, because like
nobody is going to construct a roster that is going to have this happen at quarterback.
Yeah, but the quarterback even that they brought in that was here for 3 years was clearly not ready to do things either.
Right. Now
like,
that's
what I'm saying.
Okay. If there's any problem that you can have with all of this, it's the fact that the guy you thought could hold it down couldn't, and then you end up searching, right? So if everything stems from that, from the guy you have behind Tua, and maybe it's because, right, your offense is predicated on a certain type of quarterback, and none of the guys you have can be that quarterback. That's on you. You have to have somebody that could come in and do that. Like the offense that we had was to play quarterback in Minnesota, you had to be able to throw the ball deep. That's it. You had to have a cannon. So from Warren Moon to Brad Johnson to Randall Cunningham to Jeff George, then to Dante Culpepper, they all had, for the most part, arms that could get the ball down the field.
Yeah, but there's one thing I will say about your offense. You guys have never, veered away the running game.
Right. Well, because here's the other thing. Everybody, we didn't have new players. Dude, I was the newest guy.
But Leroy,
for all those years, I was the newest guy. We had the same team.
Most of these guys have been here, though. Outside of the QBs,
right?
Mostert's
known this offense since his San Francisco days,
right?
So like
the only new guy is Jalen Wright, the rook,
and he was running those couple plays very
right.
well.
He looks good,
right?
He looks good.
I don't know, bro. I see why Tobin's upset with Coach, man.
No, I
understand.
Listen,
that.
Tell you, Coach, who you're not upset with.
Who?
This Mike Tomlin's good.
Oh,
this guy.
Are you gonna play that?
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, Vlad, you haven't seen this, have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh my goodness.
Here was Mike Tomlin after the game. This is on Russell Wilson scoring a touchdown.
What does it say that Russ kept the ball and pushed his way in for that 1 yard rushing touchdown? And what did you learn about maybe his resilience and his strength in that moment?
It was just a sneak.
Yes! Hey!
You know what's great? There's nothing greater than old black man truth.
Yeah. like he could have put a little animation on it, like
Russ kept the ball and pushed his way in for that 1 yard rushing touchdown. And what did you learn about maybe his resilience and his strength in that moment?
It was just a sneak.
But wait a minute. So here's the incredible thing. That's a professional. That's a professional at her job. That's the question. Right? Like, I'm more amazed at the questions that are asked.
Very detailed.
Very detailed for a sneak, right? What do people talk about? So Leroy is losing all respect from us. Your coach is a nerd. Friends are no more excuse. I'm not giving excuses.
I don't think you are giving excuses.
No, I'm not. Like, you know what? I wish sometimes you idiots that have all the comments would sometimes listen, right? I'm not giving a damn excuse for nobody, right? But I am saying there are reasons and levels of this to why it looks so bad. And you can put blame on it wherever it goes. Like, you can say, hey, it's the Dolphins' fault for not having a quarterback that's able to hold the fort down in the event that Tua gets hurt. They thought they had their guy. He wasn't. But then when he gets hurt, you got to grab a quarterback off the street, then another quarterback off the street. All bets are off. Now you're just trying to survive. That's the reality of the situation. So whether that's an excuse or not, that's a fact. Deal with it. You can call me what you want, but I haven't said anything that wasn't a fact.